It's now time for the Reverse Sports full game recap. We go all the way back January 31st, year 2025, where the Nashville Preds were in Buffalo to take on the Sabres for the first time this season. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his line combinations and defensemen the following way. Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault, Evangelista, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Novak, Svechkov, and LaRue. Smith, McCarron, and Sissons, Yossi, and Barron, Shea, and Blankenberg, Wilsby, and Jen make up your defensemen, and Noonan gets to start at as UC Saros day-to-day under the weather. 2:25 into the first period in Buffalo, and it's McLeod coming in with his 11th goal of the season's first action of the game. He pokes a loose puck in after the initial save by Noonan, giving the Buffalo Sabres a 1-0 lead. Not a great start for the Nashville Preds. 4:26 mark of the first period. It's Luukkonen coming up with a save on Sissons. Then 5:13 of the first. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Evangelista at the 5:53 mark of the first period. Barron's off the box. 2 minutes for holding, and Noonan would have to come up with one big save on Cousins. But after the power play, back to 5-on-5 hockey at 8:41. It's Kulich scoring his 10th goal of the season, putting Buffalo up 2-0. It was a wrist shot off of the rush. A bad line change allowed him to get the time and space on the far side. He walks in. He picks his spot. He scores. 10:40 of the first period. Now Luukkonen comes up with a save on Forsberg, but at 10:56, Luke Evangelista back in the lineup, gets the Predators on the board with his 5th goal of the season. Was a tip in at close range. This makes the score now Buffalo 2, Nashville 1. 12:52 of the first period, and Noonan comes up with a save on Malliston at 14:08 of the first period. Noonan comes up with a save on Tuck at the 14:55 mark. On the first period, Zucker off to the box. 2 minutes for roughing, putting the Predators on the power play for the first time in the game. And Luukkonen comes up with a save on O'Reilly, then another save on Forsberg after we return to 5-on-5 hockey at the 17:06 mark of the first period. Brady Shea with a very unusual goal. His 5th of the season ties the game up at 2 apiece. It ends up being a lob shot from way out high. It hit the traffic high in the zone, pops up into the air, and then lands in the back of the net. Luukkonen had no idea where it was. Neither seemingly did anybody else. Predators tie the game up at 2 apiece. That would wrap it up for the first period. Predators outshoot the Sabres 10-9. 1:16 into the second period. It's a Noonan coming up with a save on Peterka at 2:51 of the second period. It's Tommy Novak with his 9th goal of the season. A low slot tip, and some discussion, some debate, but ultimately revealed that Tommy Novak did get a slight touch on this puck, giving the Predators their first lead of the game at 3-2 at the 4:04 mark of the second period. Leading coming up with the save on Nyquist. Tic-tac-toe would not go for Gus Nyquist right here. 6:17 in the second period. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Sissons, the 8:09 mark of the second. And Noonan comes up with a save on Byron. 9:49 in the second period. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Sissons, the 12:26 mark. The Zucker again, his 17th goal now. Redirect after beating Barron to the low slot, treating Barron like a turnstile right here to tie the game up at 3 apiece. 15:16 now. The second period is Dahlin off the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Steven Stamkos. That would be it for the Predators' power play. 19:32 mark of the second period. Noonan comes up with a save on Dahlin, and that would do it for the second period. We've got a 3-3 hockey game with 20 minutes to go. The Predators out shooting Buffalo 23-16. So the Predators able to generate 13 shots on goal in the second period. We go to the third period. We find Kulich off the box at 15 seconds in. 4 minutes for high sticking. Luukkonen comes up with a save on LaRue, but then Shea picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for interference. This creates a 4-on-4 for 40 seconds. Then a Buffalo power play for a minute and 20 seconds. Noonan comes up with a save on Zucker, and that would be it. So the Predators fail to capitalize on a long power play situation right there. 6:48 now of the third period. Noonan comes up with a save on Zucker. 7:07 of the third period. Noonan comes up with a save on Cousins. 7:47. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg. At the 8:45 mark of the third period, Noonan comes up with a save on Krebs. 9:48, Luukkonen, a save on LaRue's backhand. We have half a period to go. We've got a tied hockey game here. 11:58 of the third period now. Noonan comes up with a save on Peterka at 14:54. Noonan, another save, this time on Samuelson. But at 17:56 of the third period, it's Kulich with his 11th goal, his 3rd of the game. It was the D over-committing on the rush, leaving Kulich wide open in the slot for, frankly, an easy finish. The Buffalo Sabres go ahead 4-3 in this game, the 18:26 mark of the third period. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Yossi. 19:55 of the third. Luukkonen comes up with a save on Yossi one more time as the Predators hack, whack, and jam away right up until the buzzer. But the Sabres secure the 4-3 victory on home ice. Lugan stands tall in the third period. Predators finish with 31 shots on goal. Buffalo finishes with 27, but the Sabres come away with 2 points. And the Predators, whatever hopes that they had of making the playoffs after falling to an 8th place, a 7th place, and now 8th place team, let's face it, the Nashville Predators' margin for error is becoming so slim that I don't think that there's going to be any chance at this point in time. The light's getting rather dim on this Nashville Predators team, and this was unfortunate. Again, a game that they could have won, a game that they were tied in the third period. It came down to the final couple of minutes, and the Predators defensively just couldn't keep themselves in the right position to keep the game tied, to at least get to overtime and try to find that extra point. The Predators, this is just another game that's indicative of their whole season. Just like the Vancouver game the other night, they just can't put it together when they need to put it together against a team that's below them in the standings. And as of now, there's only 2 teams below the Predators in the standings. So there are no more teams that the Nashville Predators should be able to walk over this season when they can't beat Anaheim, they can't beat Vancouver, they can't beat Buffalo. They'll try again in Pittsburgh. We're talking about it next. Renegades of Puck Podcast.